Hello and welcome to the review of Ant-Man and Captain Marvel. I will be doing both today, but I'm going to split them up in a way that pretty much will go as close to the story as possible, because the Captain Marvel that came out recently, I will be spoiling it, by the way. I'll say it before, but I will be spoiling the movie. This is a spoiler review for Captain Marvel. But, well, and to Ant-Man, but Ant-Man didn't come out like 3 days ago. I know I'm late. I was ill. Shut up. But yeah, anyway, let's get on with Ant-Man and then I'll do the same thing that I did for Ant-Man for Captain Marvel. Okay. The plot of Ant-Man. Scott Lang is a master thief who was just recently released from prison, and he pretty much is he's a master thief, and after being kicked out of his company, Hank Pym, one of the smartest people in the world that worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. for a small amount of time, was given a suit to shrink down in size and control and possess like really strong strength and also control a massive army of ants. Pretty much, and most of the movie is Scott pretty much learning how to use the Ant-Man suit to prevent Cross, or Yellow Jacket, from using the same technology as an evil weapon for Hydra. Yeah. It's never said that actually, yes, it is said that Hydra is used. Anyway, the new character this puts in is Scott. Duh. Hope, who will eventually become the new Wasp. So that's cool. Hank, obviously. Scott's family, I can't remember their names, except for Cassidy, and I don't know what they're called. I know one of them's called Luis, but I call them the Three Amigos, because you only really ever see them together. So, I'd call them Three Amigos. Anyway, positive. The comedy for Ant-Man is absolutely amazing. I don't know who the actor is. Paul Rudd, that's it. I haven't seen any of his previous work, but if he's as good in Ant-Man as he is in his other films, I will be probably watching some of his other movies. The acting, stellar, especially for Michael Douglas. He was really good. Good CGI when like he shrinks and goes subatomic. This is a spoiler, but then again, it's a spoiler for like a 5-year-old movie. But yeah, when he goes subatomic, I really loved the CG and the work there. You actually saw the Wasp if you looked at his helmet on the way there and the way back. So that's pretty cool. The shrinking and growing thing, I love how they did that with the after images. So some of it. All the ants, I actually learned some new ant species because of this. I always thought, I knew the red ants, but I didn't know that the red ants actually built bridges. I didn't really know that much about bullet ants. I knew they had a powerful bite, that was about it. And there are some others like the yellow ones that I can't remember the name of. Yeah. The family dynamic between everybody is great. Between Scott and his family, Hank and Hope. And this is more just like a universe building kind of positive. But Hank working for S.H.I.E.L.D., that's a positive. And Falcon and the new Avengers base. Because the Avengers have moved. So that's fun. Good. That's nice. It's a very cool base. We'll see it again in Homecoming and Civil War. But we won't get to those two. Well, we'll get to Civil War later. Yeah. Negatives. The villain's okay. This is a negative. The villain's could be better. And the film's a filler. It's a filler movie. Full filler. Not even like MCU level filler. The story-wise, it's terrible. And future film setups. Ant-Man meeting Falcon and the post-credit scene setting up Civil War. And pretty much Hank and Hope creating a new suit, which becomes the Wasp suit. Wasp. Once again, we've been looking for that one for a while. But yeah, if we're going by rating, pretty fun. And now for some true full power. Okay, Captain Marvel. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna say this just before, once again. Spoilers for Captain Marvel. I will be spoiling this movie rotten. So you should just here for the Ant-Man stuff. Thank you. See you next time for Civil War. I mean, also say it at the end of this, but... I will say this, I will be spoiling this movie rotten. Okay, let's just get into the plot. Or at least the basic plot. Captain Marvel is a Kree warrior who found herself in the middle of an intergalactic war in the battle between her people and the Skrulls. And living on Earth, like she crash lands on Earth in 1995. She keeps having reoccurring memories of another life as a pilot back in 1989. And with the help of Nick Fury, she tries to uncover the secrets of her past while harnessing her powers to help end the war with the Skrulls and Kree. Positives. Now this is more just a personal positive. I think everybody who saw this movie can agree to this positive. The opening. Not the movie itself. The opening, the tribute to true hero Stan Lee. I actually teared up when I saw that. It was very touching, very well done, and even if this movie did suck, it didn't, but it was middle of the road. I can at least say that they had a respectful Stan Lee tribute. For me, the action scenes were pretty good. I mean, this movie is probably the most divisive out of everybody, out of all of them. But the action scenes were pretty fun. I liked them. I thought they were enjoyable. All the acting was on point from Fury and Skrulls, but Captain Marvel was on and off for me. I don't know why. He just seemed a bit bored. Okay, this is gonna sound horrible, I know, but she just looked either always angry or always confused. Well, for at least a bit of the time, like it seeps through. But the comedy was pretty good overall. I really loved it. CGI's solid. I thought it was good. Nothing too shabby. Young Ronan from my second favorite movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, he was only in like 5 minutes, but it's still Ronan. A young Coulson. I really liked that. Something I also found very interesting. I mean, it's straight away from the comics, but then again, Marvel movies have done that before. I just think of it as a completely different continuity. So I give it the benefit of the doubt. But the Kree and Skrull plot twist where they swapped. Because the Skrulls in the comics were usually the villains. So it was just a bit unexpected. And the Skrulls as a whole, I loved the way the Skrulls looked. Like the face and the morphing and all that stuff. Goose, I loved. Goose was amazing. Although there is one thing with Goose that did disappoint me. But I'll get into that in the negatives. The Endgame post-credit scene, I got goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie, I had goosebumps. That was a damn good post-credit scene. With Cap and her last lipstick, Where's Fury? Boom! Loved it. The setting of the 90s, I didn't grow up in the 90s, I'm like an early 2000s kid, 2001. I was born in, so yeah, I thought the 90s was because there's some things that I do know about the 90s. I grew up a little bit with AOL for like a year maybe. But I grew up with slow internet for like a small part of my life. Now this is a positive, but it also leads into the negatives. So I'm just gonna say it. Fury losing his eye. So we finally found out how Fury loses his eye. And that leads me on to the negatives. How he lost his eye. Goose was unprovoked and scratched it. You know, I thought it was going to be something a bit bigger than Kitty get angry and Kitty scratch, but hey, we can't always. I mean, it was funny, I liked it, but I would have preferred if it was the boss that got rid of his eye, because I thought that would have been much cooler. Now this is going to be something that I know will be controversial of me saying this, but personally, I did not like the subliminal political messages put within the movie, because it's a superhero film, not a political activism riots kind of thing. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Not the Skrulls being refugees, because I did find that interesting, although it was a bit forced. But the the flashbacks, mainly, where the guy was just like she's just in a bar with like a bunch of other pilots, and this guy just walks up to her and just says, "You know, it's called the cockpit for a reason, right?" Oh, they didn't even try and be subtle. Like, I've seen Ghostbusters 2016. I don't think this is as bad, but if we're going by political, yeah, it was pretty bad. And the biker guy as well. He's like, "Can you give me a smile?" I will admit, when he did say, "Can you give me a smile?" this is just a personal me thing, because I find certain glares quite amusing. I love how she just turned down the newspaper and just flipped it back up. And she did steal his bike, so I found that quite humorous, but still, it was a bit, but anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. I mean, it was, yeah. I will say this kind of leads into another point, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Actually, no, I'll merge these 2 points into one. She got the hang of her powers very quick. Like, the moment the weird little tag thing came off, she got the hang of them very quick. I'm not complaining, it was just a bit quick. The memory stuff for me did confuse me a little bit, if I'm gonna be honest. I was a bit like, okay, so what? But then again, that might just be the marketing and stuff like that, but I don't know. Massive nitpick. This is the biggest. I've got a couple nits in my head. Ooh. But, Ronan didn't say Thanos. I mean, I don't know if it was the war why he didn't, or anything like that. I don't know if he was working for him at the time, but I was half expecting him to say, "Tell Thanos that this place is stronger than we expected," or "she's stronger than we expected." At least a mention of him. Small mention, at least. At least, you know, just a little mention. That would have been nice. And in my opinion, the ending is a little bit fast and anticlimactic. Like, the villain ending is a bit anticlimactic, but the start is very boom, 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 moving. And then it slows down quite a bit, actually. And then it just kinda, it's fast again, and then it ends. That's just more, I will admit the plot as it stands is alright. Like, it's Marvel movie level plot, so like, origin story plot. But here's the main complaint I've seen about the film. It's a Phase 1 movie in a Phase 3 world. And I can see that. Hello, okay, let me just say this right now, there is something I missed. Completely missed about the negatives of Captain Marvel. And it's honestly pretty big. The MCU now has a major plot hole. If you remember in the first Avengers film, not Captain America, in the first Avengers film, Fury says, "We didn't know," something along the lines of, "We didn't know that you were out there. We didn't know that you were here. We didn't know aliens existed." What? Beings from other universes? Or something like that. We now know that Nick Fury was lying through his teeth, if Captain Marvel is to be believed. Because if Nick Fury knows about Skrulls, Kree, and whatever hell Goose was, then he knows about Thor. Or at least maybe he means on like a bigger scale, but even then, it's a bit of a stretch. And it's obvious that unlike other films where they go back to the past, they didn't do their research. I'm gonna say that. Maybe the directors did do a bit, but a plot hole this big, kinda inexcusable. Anyway, continue. But overall, I thought this movie was still fun. Anyway, the future film setups, since Infinity War, going by this point, hasn't happened yet, so it still counts. The reason the Avengers got their name was because of the name on the side of her ship. I found that interesting, but that's about it. It was interesting. It was just like, oh, that's how they got. Literally, I was in this and was like, oh, that's how they got their name. Oh, and they had the Avengers theme when he said that. I liked that. That was good. That was good. The Tesseract gets in the hands of S.H.I.E.L.D. not by Howard, but by Mar-Vell putting the Tesseract somewhere in space, and then Goose swallowing the Tesseract. Pretty much, Mar-Vell gets the Tesseract sometime in between 1944 and 1989. Sometime between those 2 years. So, she takes the Tesseract, puts it somewhere safe, up in space, then. It's a little confusing, but yeah. Pretty much Goose eats it, and then he pukes it back up. So, but that's in a post-credit, so that's how they got their hands on it. Still didn't want to wait through the entire credits to see a cat throw up, but hey, here we go. I've already mentioned the Tesseract. The Tesseract was on the Skrull ship, or Mar-Vell's ship. So, yeah, that was alright. I mean, and of course, the big one, Captain Marvel gives Nick Fury the beeper, but says specifically, use it for emergencies only. Which, of course, as we know, Infinity War, pretty big emergency. I'm just saying, it was a pretty big emergency. I thought it was pretty dire. So Nick made the right call there. But, yeah, that's pretty much all the notes I have down. Pretty much touched on every single point I liked and didn't like. Once again, spoiled the movie rotten, so if you complain that I spoiled the movie for you, I gave you like 5 warnings. But, yeah, the rating of this film, 6.5? Yeah, 6.5. It's mainly because, it's just a bit touch and go. But 6 is bad, because it's not like Incredible Hulk. It's not terrible. It's decent, it's fun, and I would, given the choice, I would, if I was said, hey, do you want to see Captain Marvel again? I would watch it again. I thought it was fun. Yeah, and I know I said at the beginning of the video, but the next movie in the series is Captain America Civil War. I don't know when that one will be uploaded, because next Saturday is my birthday, but I'll try my best to upload it at least on Sunday, like today. So, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, who knows. But, yeah, anyway, enjoy. Bye!